Hello folks, this is Sullla speaking. This is another video for League of Legends, this one featuring Shen. This is taken from our Tuesday YouTube night game, and in this game alongside me are Varus Nox playing as Misfortune, Atamos Core playing as Sona, Blink You Die playing as Ziggs, and Cat Madman playing as Udyr. Then on the other team, on the bottom side, is Belimnergath playing as Fiddlesticks, an Aurelia player, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that, Chutapeta. I don't know, I'm just going to use Aurelia in the game, and apologies for getting the name incorrect. Cecil playing as Caitlyn, Bomb Diggity 01 playing as Orianna, and Confused Killers playing as Tarek. So again, these are all people who are fans of the YouTube channel and came and joined us in our Tuesday night event. Now, a couple quick words about the casting of this video. There are a lot of bugs with the LoL replay client right now. This is the unofficial replay client that allows you to play back replays afterwards, that saves your games. There are a lot of bugs with it right now. In the last two updates to League of Legends, Riot introduced some things in the patches that caused all kinds of problems for the League of Legends replay client. So I'm going to be casting this off of the live stream instead. I've turned off the sound. I'm going to record my commentary over this, and I'm going to be running it off of my live stream instead. Now, the downside of that is it means that I can't move the camera around while I'm recording this, but there's just so many issues right now with the LoL replay that I feel like it's easier to just work with this and work within the limitations of the replay client rather than trying to deal with all of the various bugs that are in the game right now. It just has a lot of issues with particularly at the start of the game. LoL replay is crashing a lot, and at the start of the game it like repeats plays the same stuff over and over again at the start. You may have seen that with the last video that I put up, or maybe it wasn't the last video, but it was in a recent video where I was playing as Gangplank and there was just all this really bizarre stuff. So anyway, that's what's going on here. Now, in this game, playing as Shen, so a couple word on Shen. I'm going to be going through talking about his skills, his abilities a little bit, and talking about why everyone has suddenly gotten interested in Shen again. Now, Shen was one of the strongest champions in League of Legends for many, many months on end. Back in 2010, he was very highly prized. He was always getting either picked or banned in competitive play. And then the nerfs started rolling in over and over and over again, and Shen was over-nerfed to the point where he was one of the worst champions in the game, and nobody has played him for much of the last year because he has just been so weak. Now, in the most recent patch, in the patch that just came out as I record this video, Shen got a ton of buffs, and technically it was a rework, but it was a rework that made him like ridiculously overpowered to the point of being the strongest champion in the game. At least as I record this right now. So what they did was they reworked some of his skills, but they made it so that he's extremely tanky. He is some of the highest base stats in the game right now as I record this. He has unbelievable sustain in lane. It's almost impossible for anyone to push him out of lane as Shen, and then he has a global ultimate, which is just really game-breaking in terms of its power, but we'll get all of that as we run through the gameplay, so I am going to talk about Shen's skills as we go through. Anyway, one very valid Shen start that I actually wanted to try out in this game is just starting with a Doran's Shield. He actually is tanky enough that he can just start Doran's Shield and do okay in most laning matchups, just starting with the Doran's Shield, and particularly because I had Teleport in this game, I was debating going between Ignite Ghost or Teleport Ghost, and I ended up going with Teleport Ghost here. So particularly with that, I could have started with the Doran's Shield, and then if I got into a lot of trouble, I could always teleport back to the lane. So I do wish I had started with the Doran's Shield here just to test it out, but from everything I've seen, it is pretty valid. It gives Shen a lot of things he wants. He wants extra health, he wants the health regen in lane, and the extra armor is nice for most laning matchups. So anyway, I'm going to be in here in lane against this Aurelia player, Peta, something like that. Again, I'm sorry if I don't get this name right. It's a little bit unorthodox in terms of the spelling. Anyway, in mid, we have Ziggs against Orianna. In bottom lane, we have MF Sona against Caitlyn and I believe Tarek on the other team. And then we have jungle Udyr, and I'm afraid I can't remember who the jungler was, and I can't pull up the screen to check it out. Okay, so Shen, what makes Shen work? Okay, well, first of all is the way that his passive works. His passive is called Key Strike, and what it does is every, I believe, 8 seconds, he deals bonus damage and is healed for some of the damage dealt. So if you look at that little ticking counter down there on the interface, sorry I can't highlight it, that is the Key Strike. When it ticks down to 0, his Key Strike is up again, deals bonus damage, and he heals when he heals a think he heals a little bit when he uses it. Again, I wish I could highlight the skill here for you guys. But anyway, that's his passive. It's a rather nice passive, and it gives him bonus damage and gives him extra sustain. Now this synergizes really well with Shen's Q skill, which is the skill that I'm going to be using the most. This is his Vorpal Blade skill, and you may have seen me using it. It is a little targeted skill where he throws out an attack that deals damage to the target. Like right here, I'm going to use it on Aurelia. And she's actually going to have to flash away there because she took a little bit too much damage right there. So anyway, Key Strike is his Q. It is his only range skill. Shen is a melee champion. The only way he gets range is using his Vorpal Blade right there. And it's useful for last hitting, but when he hits the target with it, he does life tap them. So if he hits a target with Vorpal Blade and then attacks it, he will get life back in addition to dealing damage to the target. And the damage is magical, not physical. So anytime I toss out the Vorpal Blade, you will see a little mark over the target's head. As we get a first blood in mid from Blink You Die, our Ziggs player right there. So see the little mark over Aurelia's head? That is the Vorpal Blade that marks her. So when you hit a target that has Vorpal Blade on them, you will get additional health back. Now both the Key Strike and the Vorpal Blade scale off of Shen's max health. So you want to build a lot of health on Shen, and then you deal extra damage on his Key Strike, and you get more health back, I believe, when you use his Vorpal Blade. So this is a really strong skill. This is where he gets his sustain from, and it's really good for harassing too. Again, the damage is relatively minor from the Vorpal Blade. Doesn't deal a whole lot of damage. And it is magic damage, so you can people can itemize around it. But the harass is constant. The Vorpal Blade is on a short cooldown. Notice it's on, I think, about a 4 or 5 second cooldown. And because Shen is an energy-based champion, never has to worry about mana. Just keep tossing those Vorpal Blades over and over again. Wear down your opponent, and he can just harass pretty much anyone out of lane right now with the combination of his Key Strike and his Vorpal Blade. So anyway, right here, Fiddlesticks has been hanging around. So Fiddlesticks is the jungler on their team. And he's been hanging around top quite a bit, but not really in that much danger overall. I'm quite tanky. I do have the cloth armor. I have the extra health pots. So I'm going to drink a couple of them right now. Got 2 of them queued up right here, and that should allow me to just sit in lane okay. Aurelia's already blown her flash, has already blown her teleport, and like right now, notice how Aurelia's out of mana. So the fact that the Aurelia player that's up against me has to worry about mana where I don't have to worry about that is a pretty big deal in terms of letting me sustain in this lane and help to win the lane. So even though Aurelia has very good sustain with her her W skill, her Hiten style, she still can't really sustain as well as I can. And Vorpal Blade, you see me using it to last hit under the tower. It's pretty nice for a last hitting tool too, since it is Shen's one range skill that you can use. Now, the other thing that makes Shen just so strong in lane right now is his W skill, his feint skill. Oh, I'll get to this in a second. So we do have an Udyr gank coming in from Catman Mad. So I'm going to go in, try to get in, and right there is the stun coming in from Catman Mad. Do we have the damage to chase this down? There's another Vorpal Blade. There's the stun. Can we finish this one off? Yes. So we are going to finish this off. So a nice job by Catman Mad. And we're going to get that kill. He's going to get the kill. I'm going to get the assist. So nicely played right there. We're able to combine for that kill. Okay, anyway, getting back to Shen's skills, I did need to talk about his W skill. This is Shen's feint skill, and this skill has been infamous for a long time prior to the rework for being one of the worst skills in the game. What it does is it gives Shen a damage shield. See right there? I just popped it right there on me. When you activate it, there's a little glowing shield around Shen, and you'll notice he gets the little extra white health bars that indicate a shield on him. By the way, right there, when I was getting life drained by the Fiddlesticks player, what I wanted to do was dash out of that using Shen's Shadow Dash, which I'll talk about in a minute, but I accidentally hit the hotkey for Ghost instead. So no, I was not trying to use Ghost there, but I accidentally hit the wrong hotkey, and yes, I still do that sometimes. Here I was going to get boots, and then I was like, you know what? I already have the cloth armor. It's only 200 extra gold to get the boots, so I will just go and turn that into Ninja Tabby instead because it's just so cheap, and it will help me in the lane against Aurelia here, just to help reduce the damage from her auto attacks. Okay, anyway, the thing that makes feint, like I said, it was sort of a joke skill because it cost so much energy to use, and it didn't shield for hardly anything for such a long time. But it's been reworked, and it's now gone from being one of the worst skills in the game to being one of the best skills in the game. So give Shen a damage shield. It's just a free damage shield. It costs, I think, 40 energy to use. I'd have to go back and check the numbers, but I believe it costs 40 energy to use. And so anytime you want to trade with your opponent, you put on your shield. See, notice how I put on the shield? My feint right there. So when Aurelia and I exchange harass, her harass gets blocked by the shield, and she takes damage, and I don't take any damage. So like right here, I'm going to go in, I'm going to use my taunt, I'm going to put on my shield, and so now when we go to exchange damage, look who comes out ahead. I come out so far ahead in that exchange right there, and that's because I can use my shield, my feint to block much of the damage that she's doing, and then I toss my Vorpal Blade on her, and then that allows me to get health back as I attack her. So it's the combination of those two things. When I attack her, I'm getting life back. I'm dealing damage with Vorpal Blade. I'm life tapping her so that I'm getting extra health back. And then I have my damage shield on with my feint. It just makes it so easy to win these trades. Like look how far ahead I've come in this trade. Aurelia has down on like 20% health, and I'm still above half. And I'm not that far ahead in the lane. So look, she just gets completely wrecked in that damage trade. And that's why Shen is so strong right now. He outtrades anybody in top lane. He basically will beat anyone in top lane right now if you itemize him correctly and you play the lane correctly. So the only way Shen can lose right now is if there's just a huge disparity in player skill between the two players, or if he's just gotten completely wrecked with jungle ganks or something like that. So the basic idea is, go ahead when you're looking to trade with the other side, toss your Vorpal Blade so you get that life tap. Then when they go in to hit you, pop on your shield, and you'll just win the damage trades. It's as simple as that. You're going to come out ahead in pretty much any situation against really any champ in the game right now. So that's why Shen is overpowered, basically. And you level up, you give first leveling priority to his Q and second leveling priority to his shield. Now his other skills, his E is a dash. It's called Shadow Dash. It's a movement skill. You move across the map, and he taunts anybody he hits. He gets extra energy back when he hits them. It actually does deal damage. It used to not deal damage before the rework, but now it does deal damage on the taunt. So deals a minor amount of damage, not a whole lot, but does deal damage, and Shen will taunt any champion that he runs into. So one of the nice things you can do with Shen is if you set it up perfectly, you can actually taunt an entire enemy team in a fight, get them all to attack you. And again, it's what you want on a tanky champion. You want to force the enemy team to attack you. So he's one of the few true taunts in the game. Him and Rammus are the only two that I can think of. And Galio with his ultimate. But there's very few true taunts in this game. And Shen does have one. So like right here, I should have used my taunt. I should have used my taunt, forced Aurelia to attack me, pulled her away from the tower. But when I went into this game, I had literally never played Shen even one time before, even though I'd owned him for a long time. Never actually played him because he was so bad for so long. So this is not optimal Shen play by any means, far shy of it. But I'm just demonstrating how even somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing with Shen can win the lane pretty easily just through the combination of their Vorpal Blade on their Q and then their feint on their W. So like right there, I was trying to exchange, so I put on my shield. It didn't actually need it, but Aurelia's missed a lot of last hits under the tower here. Anyway, so like I said, his E, his Shadow Dash, use it to taunt, use it to force other people to attack you, use it to escape. It's a good escape skill as well. You also take reduced damage from anyone you taunt. It's 50% reduced physical damage. So it doesn't work against casters, but against physical champs, I mean, you taunt them to start your combo, toss on the Vorpal Blade, toss on your shield, and it's just really easy to win trades. And one of the mistakes I made in this game, due to my lack of familiarity with Shen, was not using his taunt nearly enough. It does cost a significant amount of energy, but you get some of the energy back if you hit champions with your ultimate, if you hit them with your taunt. So it's just a really good skill. It's too good of a skill right now, in all honesty. And it will interrupt channeling abilities. So if Fiddlesticks is about to use his ult, you see him channeling, you can use your taunt and it will interrupt the channel. You can interrupt teleports as well. Any channeled ability you can interrupt with your taunt. So, I mean, it's, again, just a great skill that has tons of utility, and it makes it really hard for people to kill you in lane because, you have a built-in escape skill. That's always nice for a top lane champion. Then finally, Shen's ult, and the thing that's really the capper on his kit is his ultimate, is his ult called Stand United, one of the best ultimates in the game in League of Legends. What it does is when Shen can click on an allied champion and he will teleport to their location and give them a damage shield. And the damage shield is low with 1 point in the skill, but it ramps up quickly, and it is a huge shield at rank 3 of the skill at level 16. So it allows you to move around the map. You can teleport anywhere on the map to where there's an allied champion and give them a damage shield in the process. So this is just a tremendous skill, has all sorts of uses for your team. Now, one thing I have not been doing in this game is using my ultimate, and part of the reason for that is, well, number one, we were winning elsewhere on the map, so I didn't feel the need to use it a lot because, like I said, our team was doing okay. And the other reason was I hadn't played Shen enough. So I was still trying to figure out what his skills did, how to play this guy in lane. Again, it's literally the first game I've ever played as Shen. When you're trying to learn a champion, try to figure stuff out, it's much harder to watch the map. So I did a poor job of that in this game. But what you should be doing as Shen is you should be watching the map at all times. You should be looking to jump into team fights to help them out. That's why I actually have the teleport here, so I can jump into another lane with my ultimate, with my Stand United, and then I can teleport back into the lane. So that's why I took that. Otherwise, I would have taken Ignite, and honestly, Ignite would have been better in this game because I could have played more aggressively in the lane and could have gone after Aurelia. Could have been much more aggressive about tower diving Aurelia in this game if I had taken that. But anyway, at the competitive level of play, right now, Shen is, of course, being permabanned in every ranked game, and with good reason. But at the competitive level of play, what you see is what... well, Shen was actually not banned this weekend in one of the games, in the Curse Invitational, when Counter Logic Gaming and Solo Mid were playing. For some reason, Solo Mid did not ban Shen, even though CLG had first pick. So CLG first picked Shen. They actually had Saint Vicious play him as a jungler, and Shen's really not a great jungler. He's much stronger in top lane than as a jungler, but they had Saint Vicious play Shen as a jungler, and once they hit the mid game, CLG just had Shen split pushing the entire game. Like, Shen goes to a lane, he goes to the opposite end of the map of where everybody else is, and he just starts split pushing. Like at that game, everybody was grouped up around Baron, so Shen would go to bottom lane, and he would just push, and push, and push, and push. And anytime there was a team fight, he ults in, and he jumps onto the carry. So he jumps onto the AD carry. I can't remember who it was in that game, but whoever the AD carry is. So anytime there's a fight, Shen instantly ults into the fight. He protects the carry. He gives them like an 800 damage shield, so it's like getting 800 extra health. And meanwhile, the rest of the time, he's just pushing lanes. So you just put so much pressure on the enemy team. If they don't have their own teleport to counter, almost impossible to deal with that kind of split pushing pressure unless you have your own teleport to go off into a side lane. So again, why Shen's so prized, and why he's just really like a broken champion right now. He has that global ultimate. Has so much sustain. He can't be pushed out of the lane. It's just a really strong combination. Too strong. He's 100% getting nerfed in the next patch. There's no chance you won't see Shen nerfs in the next patch. So if somebody isn't banning him, feel free to take advantage of him right now. Or if you're playing a normal game that's blind pick, you grab Shen because he's going to beat anyone you're up against. Now, right here, what we did was our team was setting up for Dragon, so I came down the bottom. I came down the Dragon, and I had the teleport up so I could jump back in to top lane if need be. So what I'm going to buy here on this trip back is I'm going to go and grab Wit's End. Wit's End, a really good item on Shen. There's been a couple different threads on different people talking about itemizing Shen. Basically, you want to build health because both his Key Strike and his Vorpal Blade scale off max health. You also want to build, just tankiness in general. Things like armor, magic resist, that sort of thing. And then anything that helps him split push is sort of the other priority there. So I've seen some people suggest Sunfire Cape. I don't think Sunfire Cape's the best option. I think that Wit's End is a far superior item if you're going to do split pushing, because it gives him the extra attack speed, it gives him the sizable magic resist, it gives him extra damage, that extra magic damage that procs on Wit's End. So I feel like Wit's End's a better item. I've seen other people suggest Sunfire Cape. It does give armor and it does give health, of course. I just think that the active is so weak on that item, and it's not really worth the high cost in gold, since Sunfire's 800 gold more than Wit's End. So anyway, people can disagree on that. Sunfire Cape, not a terrible item. I prefer Wit's End. So I went for that here, even though the magic resist isn't going to help that much against Aurelia, since she's mostly physical damage, does have some magical damage. But anyway, I went for that, so that allows me to attack, do more damage, attack faster, easier to last hit, get more magic resist. It's a pretty solid item on Shen. I don't know if it's necessarily the first item you should build on Shen, but it's not a bad item by any means. And then I've gotten the red crystal here to build towards something else. At this point, I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to build. In terms of building health, Warmog's good, of course. Frozen Mallet, also quite good. Frozen Mallet's nice because of the slow as well. See, like right there, oh, by the way, right there, little tactical thing there. Notice that I put on my feint right before I went in to fight, so I would get the damage shield, and that blocked a lot of damage. Tossed on the Vorpal Blade too. I actually should have tossed on a second feint. It did come off cooldown, like halfway through that little trade, and I should have used my taunt. Notice how I'm not using my taunt. If I use my taunt right there, I probably kill Aurelia in that fight. Like if I have Ignite and I use my taunt, I kill her in that little exchange right there. So that's poor play on my part. Not having the right summoners, and then just not knowing how to play the character correctly. So you want to use that taunt because it reduces physical damage, like I said, by 50%. So if I use my Vorpal Blade and I use my my feint, my damage shield, and then I use my taunt, like Aurelia just can't hurt me in these fights. And so right there I thought we're going to exchange, so I turn on my feint. Turns out to be unnecessary, but hey, I mean, it only costs energy, and energy just, restores itself. So, you want to set up damage trades, then just back off for, 10 seconds, let your energy regenerate, and then do it again. You don't have to worry about mana. All you have to do is just manage your energy. So as long as you're not too crazy about spamming your stuff. Oh, and like right here, again, I can kill Aurelia if I have Ignite there so easily. Toss on the Vorpal Blade, toss on the damage shield, use Ignite, and then use the taunt, and she's going to die. Like, it's as simple as that. It was because I didn't have Ignite that I wasn't going for the kills here. But I still could have been more aggressive about using my taunt. I really could have done a better job of setting up kills here and getting some kills on Aurelia in lane. As it was, I was just content to outfarm Aurelia. And you can't see it because I can't pull up the minion farming screen, but I've outfarmed Aurelia by more than 2-1 in this game. And I've really had total control of this game. Yeah, right there, I'm at 129. Aurelia was at... Well, I couldn't see it because I pulled it off the screen so fast. But anyway, she's going to burn her teleport, and she's used her teleport pretty well. Peta here has done a pretty good job of just not getting wrecked. But again, I win every damage trade. Even with Aurelia running her ult right there, I still come out ahead. And again, I don't know why I don't just use my dash here. I have more than enough energy. Notice my feints back off cooldown too. And I'm not using my Vorpal Blades nearly enough. So I wasn't sure how fast the energy would regen. I didn't want to run out at a critical moment, but I could have been a lot more aggressive in using my skills. Still, so Aurelia keeps teleporting back to the lane, and even with her constant teleporting, I just don't have any real issue as she goes to ward. Elsewhere on the map, our team is doing a good job. Varus Nox is playing Misfortune, and he's having a lot of success down in bottom lane. He's been winning that lane pretty decisively, and Blink You Die is playing as Ziggs in mid for us, and he's also been getting a lot of kills. He's also died a couple times, and I probably could have saved him with Shen Shield, with Shen Ultimate, Stand United. But like I said, I wasn't doing a good enough job of watching the map. I was mostly concentrating on farming and just trying to get a sense for the character. So right there, I didn't get my damage shield, didn't get feint off in time. Aurelia got the stun in before I got my damage shield on. And again, failure to use the taunt, another issue there. So that's why I'm not winning the lane harder than I actually should be winning the lane even harder than I actually am. But I'm misusing Shen's skills here and just sitting on 200 energy too much of the time, which is wasteful. Anyway, we do have a gank coming in here. Here comes Blink You Die. Going to toss down the landmines right here. I'm not sure if he's going to hit on that or not. Right there, I'm going to try to use my taunt. Going to toss the Vorpal Blade. Blink You Die is going to miss on the Ziggs ultimate, but he is going to finish it off with one of his other skills. He actually completely whiffed on the Ziggs ultimate. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, the giant bomb that Ziggs tosses, but we were able to get the kill nonetheless. We're able to get the kill nonetheless there, and we were able to blow Flash off of Aurelia. So yeah, 74 minion kills, I have 143, so I'm ahead 2-1, and our team's doing good stuff elsewhere on the map. We're ahead 8-3 in overall kills. So right here, I'm going to take my Ruby Crystal, I'm going to go and try to turn it into, the Frozen Mallet right here. Phage is a great item on Shen, extra damage, extra health, and Phage gives, and the chance to slow as well. So just a really nice item. And I'm going to build that into Frozen Mallet eventually. And then after that, look to get more tanky because I'll probably have enough damage at that point in time. Most of Shen's damage is magic. So in the Masteries, you do want to take the one that gives extra magic penetration, not armor pen. Like right there, Varus is 2-1-1, 150 minion kills. Blink You Die has done a great job of farming. He's at 180, so he's really been sitting atop the game and farming. And there's a big fight in bottom lane. I asked, we were on voice chat at the time, I said, do you need me to teleport into this fight? And they said, no, we've got it under control. And indeed they did. So I didn't have to use Shen ult. So yeah, you really probably shouldn't, still have not used Shen ult at this point in time. But anyway, notice that I'm using my damage shield again and again. As soon as it comes off cooldown, I use my damage shield again. And look at the outcome of that trade right there. Peta, the Aurelia player, he used his ultimate. And even with him using his ultimate right there, I mean, I'm at like 80% health and he lost like 2/3 of his health. So I'm way ahead. And then I'll only get more life back as I use my Vorpal Blades and as I use my Key Strike here as I continue farming this wave. So I just came out like so far ahead. And part of that's items. I do have more items. Aurelia only has like a Phage and that's it. But I still have come out way ahead right here. And now I'm just getting free shots in on the tower. Anyway, so yeah, just pushing the lane, establishing lane control, trying to use the skills on Shen as much as possible. And look, Aurelia pretty much already has to go back to the lane. Here comes Fiddlesticks ganking me. He's going to use his flash, but right there, I'm going to use my taunt, just dash out of there with my own shadow dash. And that was ult and flash blown on Fiddlesticks. So they really were trying to kill me there. And as it turned out, it didn't work for them. So I'm going to be able to get out of there, and then I'm just going to farm these minions under my tower. And let's see, right there, and yep, there we go. All the minions right there. So that was pretty well played. I did have my Ghost up as well. Now, again, another reason why Wit's End, nice item buy for this game, for this match in particular. I did know that Fiddlesticks was out there. Fiddlesticks ult, of course, all magic damage. So having the full stacks of Wit's End up, I did have all 4 stacks fit up. I believe that Wit's End is 50 magic resistance if you have all of the stacks of the item up. So that did give me a lot of extra MR for that fight. And now I'm just going to head back to base because I can pick up my phage. And see here's Fiddlesticks again, still hanging out. I was like, let's just get out of here. So let's see, do I have enough for Frozen Mallet? And boom. And I actually didn't even count that in the gold. I was like, oh, perfect. I'd like to pretend that I knew how much Frozen Mallet cost, but that was kind of lucky. Anyway, there we go. There's the farm stats. We're well ahead in farm. We're ahead in kills. We did take the first 2 dragons, so our team is in great shape for this game. And now we're going to look to start grouping up, pushing lanes. You can see we've got the two towers down in bottom and mid. We've got the first tower down in each lane. Varus is getting really aggressive at pushing that bottom lane up at the second tower. So I'm like, okay, I really need to start watching that right now because their team's gonna respond to that. Their team is gonna come over, and there's gonna be some kind of a fight in that bottom lane. Like, I just know there's going to be a fight down there. So I'm going to keep one eye on what's going on down there. We are on voice chat, so I'm going to listen to what's going on over there and just be ready to use my Shen ult. And in the meantime, I'll try to zone Aurelia as much as possible. But I'm going to keep an eye on the fight down there and just be expecting to join in that battle. Since their team's going to send extra people over there. Now, right there, see, here comes the fight. There's an engagement over there. I'm going to check it out. Okay, everybody's okay for right now. Fiddlesticks is there, though. Got to keep an eye on what's going on. There's going to be more fighting over there at any point in time. And this is one of the harder things to do with Shen. You've got to be watching your lane and watching somebody else's lane at the same time in order to keep track of what's going on. So I probably should do a better job of watching that other lane right now. Like I said, trying to learn Shen at the same time as I play this. And right here I want to dodge Aurelia's blows, put on the damage shield, and so again I'm going to win these trades. There's the taunt right there. And again, I don't know why I wasn't taunting more often in this game. Notice how when I taunt I just come out so far ahead, and now Aurelia just has to flash out and run away. And so, yeah, that worked perfectly. I only lost a little bit of my health. There comes the Fiddlestick ult right here, and Udyr is in deep, deep trouble. So I'm going to use my Shen ult onto him right there, give him the damage shield, try to give him a chance to get out of here. Orianna ult going out onto Udyr, though, and right now I'm like, oh, taking so much damage. Got to get out of here. Got to get out of here. I'm going to turn on my feint. There's an ignite on me. I'm down to 50 HP, and Varus is going to fall. Here comes the Sony heal, and now, got to get out of here. Here comes Tark. There's that feint. Oh, no, Tark going to stun me here. And now I'm going to continue losing health, but again, I'm just going to keep popping that extra damage shield every time it's off cooldown. There we go, going to dash out of there, and can I make it out? It looks like I'm okay. But meanwhile, Blink You Die is now coming behind the team. I know the camera work isn't the best, but he's engaging on their team right here, and now he's going to go after Orianna. Orianna has her ball shield on. She's going to dodge that particular Ziggs bomb, but boom, I'm going to dash in there, and my Shadow Dash is going to finish off that kill. So that was just me in there on cleanup duty, mopping up there at the end. And so we're able to get out of this situation. We did lose a couple champions, but we're able to get out of there without too much of a disaster. Our team got a little bit too aggressive there in pushing that tower, and our Udyr player, Catman Mad, I think his name is, was really a little bit too aggressive in diving that tower overall. Okay, at this point, now I've got Frozen Melon, I've got Wit's End. I was like, okay, I'm going to be building a lot of health on Shen, so let's go for the Atma's Impaler. I've got 2,700 health. That's more than enough to be worth it in terms of gold value. Atma's becomes worth it in terms of gold at about 1,700 health, which is lower than what most people think, so it's more than worth it. Extra armor, really nice on me. I can use the damage to allow me to split push faster in situations where I'm split pushing. And, I mean, it's just a really good item on any tanky champion, so okay, go for it. A little low on magic resistance, but I'll just stock up on the armor, and then I can look to get more MR after that, if it looks like I need to itemize for more MR. So anyway, going to last hit these under the tower. I'm doing a pretty lousy job. Yeah, I only got like one of those. That's a pretty poor job. Right now, I know there's a team fight, so I'm going to be watching what's going on here. And right here, I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to ult in, but watch who I'm going to ult. I'm going to put my ult onto Udyr, and that was a mistake. The ult should have gone onto Misfortune. Misfortune is much more important to keep alive than Udyr in this team fight. So Misfortune, Varus, our Misfortune player, is going to die, but I do get into the fight. Unfortunately, I step on a Caitlyn trap there. Here comes the ult from Blink You Die. That's the nice Sigs bomb right there. So we're going to come out ahead in this team fight. I believe we went 3 for 1 there. Not 100% sure. But I made a mistake in ulting in. Always ult onto the carry. Well, maybe not always, but 90% of the time, more important to keep Miss Fortune alive than it is to keep Udyr alive. So even though he came out ahead, that was misplayed by me. I should have ulted the wrong target. And poor Miss Fortune lying there with her little candy cane guns. That was a mistake right there. Anyway, Blink You Die picks up another kill right there. I was checking their red, but as it turns out, I actually already have their red buff. It's on me right now, and I got it when I killed someone on their team. So that's a little bit funny. And at this point, our team's going to look to go take Dragon. My teleport's up, so I can jump into a fight. I believe I'm going to go back to pushing in top lane, just split pushing and farming, and continuing to focus on that. Want to get that tower so I can put more pressure on their top lane. And here comes a big minion wave that's going to help out. Udyr and Sona over at our at Dragon, so they are going to be able to get that, and we should be able to take that. That tower was almost dead, because I had put a lot of pressure on it. And again, got a big minion wave, just going to keep pushing right here. Anyway, their team is discussing what went wrong in the game, and that might well be true, but I didn't really have the chance to watch other lanes during this game since I was playing in it. Anyway, here comes Fiddles. Notice Fiddles behind me. It was warded. I don't know if I was the one who warded that or someone else. Can't remember, but right there, going to use my Shadow Dash, and right there, I get out of it pretty easily. And guess what? Tarek's up there as well, so they sent 3 people top to deal with me. So I was like, oh, wow, this team really not a big fan of me. They want me dead here, so just gonna head out of here. Right now, we do need to get ward coverage on Baron. Oh, right, watch that. I tried to taunt through the wall, and it didn't work. So yeah, not knowing which walls you can go through and which ones you can't is Shen. The biggest danger right now is that we don't have ward coverage on Baron. That's a very big deal. We need sight there. And I even said it in the chat, and Atomos Core, our Sona player, said that he would go ahead and ward there. So going to look to make sure that we have vision there. Really the best way for the enemy team to get back into the game would be to sneak a Baron right here. It's the strongest play that they can look to make. So we just need to make sure that they don't take a Baron, and we should be in good shape. Anyway, I'm going to come out here. The endless duel with Aurelia. Aurelia also went for 2 gold per 10 items. The Philosopher's Stone and the Heart of Gold. Not sure that was necessarily the best choice. You more want to buy them when you have an advantage in lane. When you have a disadvantage in lane, you can't really afford that luxury a lot of the time. But at the same token, he was getting passive gold, even though he wasn't getting minions, so perhaps it worked. Anyway, there was a fight over there. I didn't see quite what happened. Verusnox got a kill somewhere, so I'm going to come around here, look to get behind their team if I can. And right there, Udyr's diving a tower, so I'm going to ult him again. Looks like every Shen ult going on to Udyr in this game. I'm going to land the taunt on Confused Killer. That's going to help us get that kill. Right now, we need to turn. I'm going to look to focus on Aurelia here. Again, really would like to go for Caitlyn, but that would necessitate diving another tower. Don't want to get too mad mode here. Don't want to go too crazy. We have no minions. We're fighting between 2 towers. It's a bit of a silly fight for us to take on. Blink You Die is going to get a battle behind that, a kill behind that. And meanwhile, I'm still being shot by the tower. I was like, uh-oh. Going to feint again. Going to provide a little bit of a damage shield. And Blink You Die is going to finish off another kill. So we tanked a lot of tower shots there. And Blink You Die did end up going down in that battle. Did get finished off. So that wasn't the greatest fight that we've ever done. But we did come out ahead. I believe we went 4 for 1. And here comes Fiddlesticks. Uh-oh. Got to get out of here. Going to pop Ghost. Going to taunt. And I'm actually going to get out of there with about 300 health left. So that was a nicely placed Fiddlesticks ultimate, but I was able to get out of it ultimately, able to escape, and we did get another tower in mid. So we're just continuing to snowball a little bit further ahead, and I've managed to avoid dying thus far in this game, which is sort of not good. An ideal situation would have been me dying and Miss Fortune staying alive. That really would have been the better setup here for this particular game. But I've got my Atmas that increased my damage significantly, increased my damage by about 60 points. I think it went from about 130 to 190 once I got that item, and it did give me more armor and a slight critical strike chance. That's not that important, but hey, it doesn't hurt. So I'm in pretty good shape right now. I deal pretty respectable damage right now. I wouldn't say I deal a ton, but I deal respectable damage. I'm quite tanky with 180 armor, and my MR is a little over 100. I need to get a little bit more, probably a little bit more magic resist and a little bit more health. But really the next item I want to go for here is another Giant's Belt. That's the next item I'd like to pick up because, again, my abilities scale off of maxed health. So my Key Strike and my Vorpal Blade will both deal more damage if I get more health. So I would keep building more health next, really. and they're not doing enough magic damage to force me to go and get more MR. I'm okay with just the Wit's End here. Maybe just get a Negatron Cloak and not build it into anything. Anyway, their team is setting up to do Baron. We know that they're doing Baron. We can see them doing it. Their whole team's there, so I'm going to step on that Caitlyn trap just declared, and watch right here. Here they come, and boom! Taunt 4 members of their team, catch them. Blink you die, beautiful Ziggs ultimate, nice Sona ult as well coming in from Atomos Core, and now their team is just screwed. There's nothing they can do. I'm going to get the taunt on Orianna, and Varus Nox is chasing down their Caitlyn player, and so that is going to pick up another kill. That's an ace, and that's a free Baron. And really, that was just a Baron. That was a desperation Baron on their part as the surrender vote comes in and this game ends. That was a desperation Baron. I can understand because they were so far behind, but it really wasn't safe. It just wasn't safe. They knew we were there. They knew we had vision on them, and it wasn't a Baron that they could look to do. But they were really far behind, so it was worth it to make some risky plays to try to catch up. Anyway, end of the game screen here. Just a few comments. Again, Shen's super overpowered right now. Wins every damage trade in top lane. He can't be forced out of lane. Super tanky, a global ultimate. He's just an amazing champion right now. Use him while you can. Abuse him while you can. And he's going to be nerfed in the next patch. I guarantee it. It will happen, and deservedly so. So just have fun with it until then. Even somebody who doesn't play Shen like me can really dominate with him. And then the rest of the team are nice game all around, except maybe Catman Mad a little too aggressive at some points in time. Maybe a little bit too aggressive. But aside from that, really nicely done team. And apologies for not getting more of the Shen ults in. I was trying to learn this character. Could have done a much better job of watching the map. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stick around. We are going to do the Tuesday YouTube night again tomorrow. So if you're around then, check it out. If not, see you guys again soon. Take care until then.